Hey, so in this video, I'm going to debunk another myth surrounding audience uploads or taking a list of customer data and putting it into the Facebook platform or really any platform. While this idea and this technique sounds really interesting and it captures a lot of people's interest, it actually is super ineffective and we don't recommend it. And I actually have a couple reasons why. There may be one exception. I'll get to that at the end of the video. Now, first off, if you have a customer list that you want to upload into an advertising platform, they all do it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, Facebook, AdRoll, or whatever platform you might be using, you have the ability to do that. But especially with Facebook, you have to have a really, really big list, like well over 1,000 people for it to work. Facebook's looking for a certain number of matches, right? So when you upload this contact data, Facebook's going to look at it and try to figure out who's in that list, and attach it to their profile so you can show ads to them, right? That's the whole goal of it. The problem is typically it's only going to find about maybe 1/3 to up to maybe a half of those people or 50% of those people. And so that's why the list has to be really big, because Facebook also has audience limitations. Like, if your audience is too small, it's going to tell you that. It's going to say, hey, your audience isn't big enough and you can't run ads to this. So a lot of times people will have this idea and they'll say, oh, I have this great list. I bought it from yada, 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 already had it or something like that, and I want to upload it to Facebook, and then they tell me, oh, it's a couple hundred people. I'm like, that's not going to be enough, because only a small percentage of those people are actually going to get matched back. Now, there are some pretty cool tools out there I will mention that that we use internally sometimes to create greater matches, and some of those tools would actually double the results, maybe even triple the results of the number of people that are getting matched back. So those can help, but they're also very pricey. And because I don't generally recommend it, it's really, for most people, it's not going to be worth getting those tools or even doing this whole process. Now, the number one reason why you shouldn't do it, though, is because you're really stripping away all the intelligence of Facebook and really any advertising platform. So the advertising platforms have built-in algorithms that are monitoring thousands and thousands of points of data. It could be, how the person's scrolling, what they were doing recently, have they bought something, have they filled it out in a form online. There's a lot of stuff, like way more than just that, but those are just a few examples. And so if you're using built-in targeting options inside of Facebook and other platforms, it has the ability to really find the right people, the people that will fill out information or buy something online or whatever the case may be. So that, is really, really powerful. But as soon as you upload a list and say, hey, show this ad to the people on this list, you're really just stripping away all that powerful intelligence. And then the ads don't work. So we've tried this many, many times over the years just to test to see if we could generate, mortgage leads off of lists. And quite frankly, it's always been a waste of money. We've never seen it work. We actually do it for ourselves to a certain degree, and this is the exception to the rule. I would still say, even when we do it, it doesn't work that well. The only benefit for us is that since we have a very high budget for advertising our own business, we can show it to a lot of people that may not fall into those audiences of interest that are typically available inside the Facebook or YouTube or whatever platforms. And, at least get some eyeballs on our business so that they're thinking about it. So creating brand awareness, or in some cases, ideally, they'll click and visit a landing page or website of ours. And then we can continue to retarget them until there's more familiarity with our business and they decide to take action. But that would only be the case if you have a very, very high advertising budget. And I'm talking about, $10,000, $15,000 per month as a minimum starting, which is somewhere around what we typically spend for ourselves, depending on the month. So hopefully you found this video helpful. The next time you hear about somebody saying, hey, I've uploaded a list, or this list concept is such a great idea, don't believe it. It's not. It's going to be a big waste of time and money for you. And if you like information like this, you find it helpful, like and subscribe on my channel here. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're on other social media platforms, do the same thing. Thanks so much.